Hey, Dr. Mike here, and today I want to discuss the reason why a lot of our patients ask us why they don't feel better after their initial adjustment. And sometimes it takes even more than the first week or two before people start to actually feel better. So most of the times when I see a patient, and my goal is to identify where the nerve stress is, we realize that in an adult that might be 30 or 40, even 50 years old, most of the imbalances that we find they've had since they're little boys and little girls. And they've been manifest over time to create an eventual crisis. So when people come to see me, they're already in crisis. Now, that crisis took sometimes years or even decades to produce. And as the crisis starts to manifest itself, that's not when the problem actually originally started. The imbalance started maybe many years or decades prior to them coming to see me. So initially what we do is we assess the body for balance or imbalance, what we call subluxation, and then once we find those areas, we address them with adjustments and exercise. So by the time we get to a patient, they have many years or decades of degeneration and imbalance and lack of motion. Once we start putting motion and balance back into the spine, it can take some time. So it's habit, and that's usually why we see people multiple times in the first few weeks in order to establish new habit and establish better function. So once function becomes better, then pain will eventually go away. So pain is the last thing to show up and not always the first thing to go away. So remember, most of the time when you're coming in to see us, you've been imbalanced for years, maybe decades. And that's usually the reason why it takes quite a bit of time before you start to feel better. It doesn't take as long to get well or feel well as it did to get sick, but it definitely takes time. So you have to be patient with your body and patient with the healing process. So that's really the basic answer as to why you don't feel, initially wonderful after just one adjustment. Some people do. Some people feel magnificent after one adjustment, but most people it takes time. So remember to get informed and get adjusted.